this is your second semester. Tamk, you're a freshman, obviously. So can
Yeah.
you tell me more about your first semester? How was the transition? What were some difficulties adjusting to online university? Zoom university
Yeah.
is how we
Yeah.
dub it. So yeah, just if you can share some of the experiences, some things you like to say.
So for my first semester, I found it pretty difficult because the thing is when the pandemic first hit when I was still in high school, I was already very used to my schedule and I knew how everything went and everything I sort of had a routine for. So when I was doing everything from home, I still already knew like uh like all the resources that school uses and everything. And I knew like I already had a group of people to go to whenever I had a question. So it was already very, straightforward. And like in fact, for the first few weeks with the whole Zoom thing, when I was still in school, when I was still in high school, I kind of enjoyed it because it was kind of nice to be at home. But when it came to university during the transition, it was very different because didn't really know many people at all, um, and I wasn't very used to Howdy. I wasn't used to Canvas. I wasn't used to eCampus. So I didn't there was some times where I would kind of struggle keeping up with the course material. And um, so yeah, basically what I really had to do is I just had to I always made sure I joined the professor's office hours and ask them questions. Some of the questions may have been a bit silly, but it was just me kind of learning how everything went here. And I had to also my main way of actually meeting people in so far was for class group chats. I kind of this is a bit weird, but I kind of have a little bit of anxiety messaging class group chats because there's so many people that I don't know. So I would private message some people and ask them questions, and we'd meet like that. So I just kind of have a few people to go to if I ever have any questions, and that was really helpful. Um,
And it obviously helped you make friends, right?
yeah, yeah, of course, yeah. That was a pretty big that was a big factor in me, making my first few friends. But it was obviously a lot more difficult to make friends because there was the few friends I actually made were when they reopened campus. I think it was September the 1st when they reopened campus. That's when I actually got to meet people, and because it's very different when you actually have a face to talk to. Besides, like when you're in a Zoom class and it's all black screens, it's very difficult to meet people. So
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, so the first time actually, so the first like proper friends I made, or like people I was familiar with, I met like when we were actually on campus and we could actually have a face-to-face conversation. I would always get lost on campus, even when they were doing the orientation events. I always needed help on how to get to certain places, and I always looked at the signs and the maps because I was also very lost as well.
what were some of your struggles with time management? I know freshmen aren't like good at time management when once they start with their first semester. So did you struggle with that?
Yeah, I would definitely say so because the thing with me as a person, just me, like in general, is I'm very um, like I have bad study habits. And the thing is, in high school, you could easily get away with that stuff because the workload isn't as intense, and you could always sort of do something last minute and kind of get away with it.
Yeah,
So the thing with me in university is I didn't really have a plan on like what to do with that stuff, with time management and procrastination and all that. I was kind of just going with like my schedule, and uh, so what would end up happening is like I was just kind of shocked by how much free time you have in university. So I kind of took that as like a mini vacation almost. And yeah, so that would really it would backfire on like whenever I'd have like a midterm and exam because you have all these cumulative assignments that you were just you were pushing forward and you weren't really doing.
yeah.
And
Free time at university is a trap. Everybody falls for that trap.
mm, yeah, it's like there's so much free time.